Again, life completely changed for me. All I just needed to learn was to keep my mouth shut. Okay? Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. I am Darian and it is now 2026. So with the new year already being here, I just love a good video talking about the lessons that I have learned from the prior year. 2025 was not a bad year at all. 2025 came with a lot of realignment in my life, and over the years I have noticed that whenever I've had like a year where I've had different trials, tribulations, there were always some great lesson that I was supposed to get from that. So I just want to share with you, no matter what kind of year you had last year, hopefully this year is your year. We're gonna claim that every year is your year, but I understand that some years may seem better than others. Just remember that whatever kind of year you have, there's always something that you can learn from it. Okay, so let's jump into it. Okay, the first lesson I'm going to talk about actually came at me a little sideways. I was not expecting it, and that is to be careful who you allow in your life because it could follow you. Now, this may sound a little scary. I want to start here. A lot of times when we are younger, this could be teenage years, this could be 20s, it could even be older, whatever age you are now. Sometimes when we connect ourselves to people, we don't really think about the long-term effect. I mean, obviously you're meeting somebody today, you're not thinking that years later down the line, you know, weird stuff could be happening, or maybe people are not able to let you go in their minds. Even though you have been able to move on in your life, behind the scenes, you never know what people are dealing with. And there are times that I've dealt with in my life, and this has been a thing that I've noticed that has followed me through different people, is a spirit of obsession. Not like I've experienced this, you know, with everybody that has been in my life, okay? I'm talking about specific situations where I've noticed that I have moved on with my life. I'm moving forward, but the people aren't able to let that go. Like, they have a whole nother motive and, you know, thing going on over there, but I'm over here, okay? And so a lot of times when you are in certain seasons of your life and you're connecting to people, you never know what their overall intent may be. Okay, yes, at first they may have, you know, y'all cool, y'all hit it off, but once you start to see red flags, once you start to see signs in people, it's no more for being like super nice and, oh, well, maybe they didn't mean it or this or that. I look back on my life and the things that have tried to follow me now in my life are the people that I've noticed that have not been able to let go of me, or, you know, just let things be. I have noticed that even though at that point in my life, when I saw the red flags were there. I just wasn't at a place where I was strong enough to be like, oh, well, this is this, or this is that. I just, you know, like, you want to write it off like it couldn't be this, or it couldn't be that. So one of the biggest lessons I learned was that you have to really protect and guard your own life as far as who you allow in and out, because you never know what the future may hold. If I would have ended things back then when I was being shown red flags, then I probably wouldn't have still had to deal with later down the line the different things that I just was like, shoot, like, leave me alone, okay? Leave me alone, all right? Although, you know, the things that have happened have been like petty, like minuscule, like stuff like that. It's just, you still, like, when you're in a happy place and you have moved forward in your life, you don't want things from your past trying to still follow you and keep up with you. So now moving forward, whenever it comes to like forming relationships with people and creating friendships and bonds with people, when I see those red flags, and we're all human, of course we make mistakes, but when I see that something is like a personality or a character, I wouldn't even say personality, because your personality is your personality. I feel like the negative things that people carry are actually just like character things. Your personality is just who you are. That's your vibe. That is, you know, that's your personality. But character is the bad and the good ways that you present yourself to the world. But once you notice character flaws in people, especially after you point something out and things are not changing, you gotta make a decision if you want to deal with this later down the line in your life, because I've noticed that too. Things usually don't just change out of nowhere when it comes to people. If somebody is stuck in their ways, they're a certain way, those things over time will eventually progress into something bigger and could progress into something worse. It really takes an act of God for most people to change. It really takes, sometimes even it takes like an extreme life event for people to change. So it's not your job to try to change people to be what you want them to be in your life, but it is your job to accept them as who they are and what they choose to be, and make decisions based off of that for what best interests your life. Last year, I was in a place where, again, I had moved on with my life with things, and God started to warn me that, hey, this person that used to be in your life, they're not, in their mind, they're not done. They're not done, okay? They're still over there plotting and have things up their sleeves. So I need you to take this information and move this way and move this way and move that way. And I'm not talking about engaging with the person or anything like that, but God will always lead you where you need to go and give you the heads up on the things that are happening if you allow Him to, and open your heart to the instructions and the things that are being shown. The most beautiful part about it was I was already a step ahead, because the way God was aligning my life, what they had in their mind, I've already moved on. I've already, I've already had the upper hand. So yes, be careful who you allow in your life, where you want to go. And I'm talking about successfully, the successful places that you want to reach and go. Who you have in your life definitely does matter. Even if you're like a teenager or if you're in your 20s, it matters. It matters. It matters. If I would have known what I know now back then, I would have definitely moved differently in my life. I wouldn't have been as slack as who I allow in my life. If I would have known to love myself sooner and not just take any and everything and not feel like you can only have these people in your life or these people in your life, I would have definitely made decisions sooner. I definitely connect with people differently at this point in my life versus when I was younger. A lot of times when you're younger, because you are still learning who you are as a person, you kind of connect with people that maybe you have trauma bonds with, or maybe you're just, we have this similarity, we work here together, or we went to school together, or stuff like that. Like we both like makeup or something like that. But now as I'm older, I look at how I want to live my life and the things that I want to accomplish and do. And do the people in my life, they don't have to be doing the same thing, but do they align with what I'm trying to do? Are they hindering me, or are they helping me to get to the next level? Do they wish well for me, or do they wish terrible things for me? And I'm not even talking about, outwardly, because obviously most people are not gonna be outward about it, but you can tell from the signs and the little things. So if I would have looked at life back then from that perspective, oh my gosh, do you know the drama that could have been avoided? Okay, it really takes a place of maturity to be able to look at a person and say, okay, they align with my life at this season, and at this point I will have them in my life, versus like, this just ain't looking like it's working. Okay, all right, so let's move into the next thing. Okay, so the next thing that I have that I learned from 2025 is that you never know how quickly life can change. And honestly, this is coming from a positive place. I know sometimes when we hear that, we may think like, oh gosh, things like took a turn for the worse quickly. No, this is actually a positive thing that I'm talking about. I had hit a place in my life where I just felt like, what is next? I didn't really know what that meant, by what is next or where I was going, but I knew that things had to change. I knew that how my life was at, like there was more to come for me. And so I had hit a place, like a plateau in life, and I didn't really know what was ahead of me. But once I got the signs for the next thing in my life, I took action. I jumped on the opportunity. And once I took initiative to move towards the changes that were happening in my life, it's like life changed for the better. And I am so grateful for that. So grateful for that. And I just never knew that life would be changing for me so quickly. I never knew that life would pivot that quickly. So now it just taught me that life can change for any moment for you. All it takes is you just making that move, you just making that change, and everything else will align. Okay, you guys, so the next thing that I want to talk about, this, I don't know if it was necessarily like the lesson that I learned in 2025, but in 2025 I was able to like sit back and reassess the things that have happened in the years prior and get this revelation from those prior years. So it like clicks for me in that moment. So that is that the tough seasons are working for you. Also, I know when you're in the thick of the hard seasons, it feels bad, it feels hard, and the reality is that hard times and hard seasons are just a part of life. But I am now at this place in my life where I'm truly able to see that it is all for your good. Like the hard things and the tough seasons that you go through is for a reason. It's to teach you lessons. It's to help you to grow and mature. But when you're in it, it can be easy to have a negative attitude. When you're in it, it can be hard to really see what is the purpose of it. But once you get out of it, you start to see, if you choose to walk through it the right way, you're able to see why it needed to happen. Once you get out of it, you're able to see the beauty that comes from it. Again, you have to have the right perspective to be able to see this. But yeah, that's what I was able to see from all of the things. Again, when I was in the thick of it, when I was in the worst of it, I was like, what is going on? What was the reason? What did this have to be this for? But once I got past the going through it phase and I decided that, you know what? I'm gonna just make sure that I continue to, or at least even if I've had like bad days, I still was like, I'm gonna continue to do my best and see now what was the point of this. And now looking back, I'm able to see that, okay, this was why. This was what was needed. So it's like so beautiful now to be able to look back. And even now in my life, certain things that I felt like, oh, it should have went like this or it should have went like that, I'm able to be like, I'm glad it didn't go the way that I formulated in my head, the way I wanted it to happen. Because if it would have, I don't know if I would have been able to be this person that I am now. So I'm so grateful. And now I am just happy for things to just continue to align the way that they're supposed to align. Okay, let's get into the next thing. This I have learned to be so top tier for moving in life, okay? And that is move in silence. Moving in silence is so the way. I used to be a person that just talk. And I never really connected my talking with things not going as planned until I had a certain season, okay? Them tough seasons teach you lessons. But once I started to move in silence, once I realized that me oversharing was not working in my favor, once I started to realize that people don't really wish me well, they just want to know my information to hate and to wish evil on me and just have information to try to work against me. Once I caught that revelation, I was like, okay, we're gonna try this moving in silence thing. And since I've been moving in silence, boy, has life changed. Life has definitely changed for the better. When people don't have information about you, they can't wish evil on you. They can't hate on you. And it's not to say that they have all this power that they can take away your blessings and this or that. They cannot. But what is the point in opening your mouth and creating extra chaos, warfare, and drama? There is a scripture that talks about how opening your mouth can basically lead your life to ruin. So why do you feel the need to tell everybody your every move? A lot of times, if you feel the need to tell everybody your every move, it could be that you are moving from a place of needing approval from people. When you need approval from people, people will use that to their advantage, and they have power over you. They have the control over you. So take back your power. Move in silence, focus on your goals, do what you need to do. Yeah. Again, life completely changed for me. All I just needed to learn was to keep my mouth shut. Okay? Everything does not need to be announced. Everything does not need to be shown. You don't have to move from a place of trying to prove anything to anybody. And also this too, this is coming to mind. You will notice that if you pay attention, you'll notice when people are in your life just to monitor your life and wish evil on you. They will call and want to know all this information about your life and don't have anything to help benefit your life. So once I stopped playing into that and take control over the conversations, I noticed those people don't really want to hear from me anymore, okay? Because there's no drama from them to pull from. There's no negativity from them to pull from. So if you're trying to have a good 2026 and beyond, take a look at the connections that are in your life and rule out if they're real or fake, okay? If they have your best interest or not. Okay, you guys, so the next thing is that you owe no explanations for the life that you want to live. It is your experience, so enjoy it. We are all on a journey. I've noticed in my life, if you open the door to people having a say in your life, it can actually hold you back. It can set you back from progress, because a lot of times people speak from their own experiences. They speak from their own traumas. They speak for what didn't work out for them. And they may not even know this. They may not even be trying to do this, but in them speaking to you, they're actually holding you back. They're actually keeping you from progressing because they're not you. They're not walking out your shoes. Now, this isn't to say that you can't take wisdom from people. I do believe that wisdom is definitely needed in life, and you have to use discernment to know if somebody is giving wisdom that is for your life, or they're just speaking from failed experiences and failed things that have happened in their past. On your journey, you're going to bump yourself, okay? You're going to fall. You're gonna have to keep getting up and figuring things out in life. Your life is not everybody else's life. Let's use this example. Let's say you're going to be the first person in your family that's a multi-millionaire, and so you have people in your family telling you, oh, you don't need to do this, you don't need to open this up, you don't need to start this business, you don't need to do this, all the different excuses and things. What if it doesn't work out? All of these things. Well, that's a part of life, figuring it out. And, you know, you may have to actually restart things a couple of times. But them telling you that is from their own fear and insecurities and worry. What if it works out for you? What if it actually works out for you, and if you listen to them, you now miss out on the biggest lesson of your life? Do you know that regret and shame is usually a lot of times what people that are given that same advice is coming from? So you have to look at life from your own perspective, whatever you know in your soul, in your spirit, in your heart, truly in your heart, what you know, truly on the inside, what you know you're supposed to be doing, you have to do it, okay? I said truly, not what you want to do just because you want to do it, okay? Truly knowing that this is for you. Those things are put inside of you for a reason. Okay, you guys, so let's get into this last point. What I have been able to see is that fear can hold you back from so many things, and it's really not worth it. It's really not worth living a life of fear. Imagine being able to have so many blessings and so many things, but because you were living in fear, you haven't been able to actualize these things and make it come to pass. And that could be fear of other people's opinions, fear of what other people have to say and if they're going to be pleased with you, fear of it not working out, fear of just fear. I feel like a lot of the fear comes from being fearful of other people. But once I started to be broken out of the fear of what other people have to say, once I started to realize that this is my life, they're gonna do what they want to do with their life. I have to do what I want to do with my life. Fear that you may not have the right resources or all of these things. Staying in the place of fear instead of just moving and allowing life to work itself out and seeing what will come from life if you just take a step out in faith and do things. It's worth it. It's worth it stepping out and seeing, you know, what will happen. And again, so what if you mess up? So what if it didn't happen the first time around? I see a lot of people say, people that have made it big, people that are well known now didn't get success on the first round. They just knew something was inside of them. They believed in it and they continue to work towards it. And at the right time, it just happened for them. Okay? So no more letting fear hold you back. The difference between the people that you see that may look like they're prospering above you and all of this, it's not that they're any better than you. They just took the steps. They just took the necessary steps to work it out. Being the one that is willing to look a little, I'm gonna say cray-cray to other people, usually is a good thing. Usually does work out for those people, okay? You're stepping out and doing something that they feel like is completely just off the wall, usually ends up working out. Usually ends up working out in the person's favor when they don't give up and they just keep going and applying the pressure. So that is all, you guys, for this video. I hope that you have an amazing new year and that these things help you. These are definitely some things that even just acknowledging these things over 2025 and just continue to utilize these things, like keeping them in the forefront of my mind and heart, have made such a difference in my life. And so I hope that these things help you. I thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.